Good evening, everybody. We'll be getting started in a few minutes, another minute or so. So if you have any props that you need, you might want to make sure that you have them handy. We'll begin in a seated position. I normally start in a seated position. So just make sure that you're comfortable in the middle of your mat. So just another minute, and just making sure that, remember when you are beginning your practice or starting your practice, just for the day, just make sure that you are aware of how you're feeling. So if you find any tightness or stiffness or any pain or discomfort that allows you not to stay in a pose, then don't feel that you have to force yourself to stay in it just because you want to. Listen to your body. If your body's telling you that it doesn't feel right, then come out of it. You should feel that you're getting a comfortable, deep stretch when you're in these poses, so you shouldn't feel really any pain. So maybe just kind of ease back until you feel just that right spot where you're stretching but not really feeling any pain. So we want to make sure that we're listening to our own bodies. And remember that you may face some limitations tonight that you may have never faced before. So that's all normal. Remember that our bodies are not the same as they were the last time you practiced. So we're going to begin in a comfortable seated position, sitting up nice and tall. Let's bring the hands to rest onto the knees. And then keeping your spine nice and straight, draw your navel into the back of the spine. And just let your chin stay parallel to the floor, keeping the crown of your head extended towards the ceiling. So letting your palms just rest on the knees. Just let the shoulders start to move forward. Lift them up to your ears and roll them back and down. And then let the shoulders move forward. Lift them up and roll it back and down. Do that a couple of times, but keep your hands on your knees. And try not to rock your upper body forward and back. And just keep the spine nice and straight. And when your shoulders draw down, really feel the stretch moving away from the ears. One last time, moving the shoulders forward. Lift them up and bring them back and down. Now we're going to reverse. So let's take the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Lift them up and then roll them forward. Moving the shoulders back, lift up and roll forward. And do this a couple more times. And so as you inhale, the shoulders pull up, and as you exhale, the shoulders move down. And we'll do that one more time. Shoulders move back, squeezing your shoulder blades, lift them up to the ears, and then bring them back and down. And so letting the shoulders warm up, warming up the back of the neck. And from here, let's take our right ear over to the right shoulder, stretch into the left side of the neck. So get a nice deep stretch into the neck. And just let your head hang heavy over to the right side. And bring your head back up center and let your left ear go over to the left shoulder and draw your right shoulder down away from the ear. And just relax the shoulder down, let the left ear come over to the shoulder. And stretch into the right side. Come back up to center. And then as you exhale, lower your chin to your chest. So let the stretch come now into the back of your neck. Try not to round your spine. And then bring your chin back up level with the mat. Keeping your back nice and long. Let's start to circle the body. Whatever direction feels natural to begin with. Just start to circle it around. And as you're circling, keep feeling your navel pulling into the back of the spine. Make sure that the breath is smooth and even, and keep that breath slow and controlled. Try not to really go too fast as you circle around. And then go the opposite direction. Circling around the other way. And just noticing and being aware of whatever sensations that you're experiencing Maybe one side feels a little tight. Maybe you experience a little bit of stiffness or pain maybe on one side. So modify it if you need to. And then we'll come back to center. And we're going to find ourselves coming onto all fours. So however you can get there, come right into a tabletop position. And let's come more to the middle of the mat, or just slide your hands down a little bit further from the front of your mat, making sure your fingers are spread wide and keeping the shoulders over your palms and allowing the knees to be directly under your hips. And let's come into some cat and cow just to warm up the back. So we're going to start by coming into cow pose. The toes are going to curl as the tailbone tilts up, and then slowly lift your head at the last moment. And then bring your toes flat to the mat. Start to round through the lower back first, upper back, and then mid back, and then upper back. Chin comes to the chest. Then curl the toes. Let the tailbone tilt up first, moving the chest forward, and the head lifts. Toes go flat, tucking under, rounding through the lower back, mid back, and upper back, chin into the chest. Do this a few more times on your own, and allow the breath to flow in and out, making sure that you're breathing through your nose and feeling the space opening into that stretch in your back. So finish with your cat pose, bringing your chin into the chest, and return to a neutral spine. We're going to take the right leg and extend it all the way back. As you do, draw your right hip towards the mat. Point the toes and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Make circles with that foot from your ankle, and then take your circles around the opposite way. Keep that right hip facing down towards the mat. And let's send the left arm forward, stretching all the way to the front of your mat, reaching the crown of your head to the wall in front of you. Try not to drop your head. And then let's bend the right leg at the knee and sweep the hand around, finding the top of your foot. You want to pull the heel into your right buttock and then start to pull it away. So feel the stretch first coming as you pull the heel in. Feel it stretching into your right quadricep. Then pulling it away and see if you can lift the foot up a little higher. Nice deep breath. Lift out of that right hand, trying to find your balance. Keep your breath flowing in and out, making sure you're breathing through your nose. Release the arm and the leg. So you want to extend the arm forward, left, right leg goes back. And then bring your hand back down to the floor. And we're going to take that right foot and flex it. And we're going to take the right foot over to the left side of your mat. Let the ball of your foot come onto the floor. Draw your right hip closer to your right shoulder. So really pull the right hip forward, squeezing your inner thigh. And then you're going to take your gaze and look over to over the left shoulder to see if you can see your right foot. So you should feel as you squeeze your inner thighs together and your right hip is pulling towards your right elbow, you should feel a stretch coming into the right side of your body. Then bring your head back to center. Let's take that right leg, lift it all the way back up, and then send that right leg out to the side and flatten the foot to the floor. Make sure your toes are angled so that they're facing towards the front of your mat and they're not turning out to the corner of the room. We're going to stand on our left knee as we bring both arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the arms out to the side. And from here, we're going to let the left hand come down. And as that hand comes down, if you can't get the hand down, you can have your block handy and use your block, because we want the whole body to be in a nice lateral stretch. So if you bring your hand down and you're reaching forward, we don't want to do that. We want to have a nice long stretch into the right side of your body. So reach your right arm over the right ear. Make sure that you're pressing down into the edge of your right foot, and then bring your gaze to look up into your inner elbow. Stretching through those fingers. You want to feel the stretch from the tips of the fingers all the way down to the edge of your right foot. Inhale, pulling your belly in, come all the way up, standing back on your left knee. Exhale, both hands come down on either side, underneath your shoulders. Bring your right knee back under your hip. Send the left leg all the way back. Draw your shoulders back away from the ears. Point the toes on the left foot and flex, and point, and flex, point, and flex, and make a circle going in one direction, and then take that circle the other direction. So keep that left leg extended back, Make sure the left hip is facing down towards the mat, and when you feel balance on the left hand, raise your right arm up alongside the ear. So keep that left leg as high as your hip. Don't have to lift it any higher than that. And then bend the leg at the knee and reach back for the top of your right foot. Left foot. Pull the heel into your left buttock to feel the stretch coming into your left quadricep. And then pull the foot away and try to lift that leg up higher. Lift out of that left hand, try to find your balance. Breathe here, keep lifting. And then release, extending the arm and the leg. And then we're going to take that right hand back down, flex your left foot. The left foot's going to cross over to the right side of your mat. So feel that left inner thigh coming to touch the inner right thigh. Pull your left hip towards your left elbow. And then taking your gaze over the right shoulder, see if you can see your left heel. Stay on the ball mound of that left foot as you push through the heel. Feel the stretch coming into the ankle, the calf, and the inner thighs are squeezing and feeling a stretch through the left side of your body. Bring your head back to center. Take that left leg back, and you're going to send it out to the side. You're going to flatten the foot down so it's right out from the left hip. Toes are angled so that they're pointing forward. Standing on your right knee, inhaling the arms all the way up. And exhale, arms go out, and we're going to bring the right hand down. So again, if you need the block, you want to make sure that you're having a nice lateral stretch here. So if you can come down to the mat, to the floor, you can stretch over that left ear as long as your whole body is long and you're not pushing your butt out and rounding and dropping your chest down. So your chest should be open facing forward. And so you can always use your block. If you don't have that range of motion, you can use that block to get the stretch. Whatever angle of the block suits you. And keep stretching through the fingertips. Look up to your inner elbow. Really feel that deep side stretch here. And then coming back to stand on your right knee. Both arms come up. Inhale. And exhale, both hands come down. Now you're going to take your left knee back under your hip. And let's take the hands just a little bit further forward, releasing into our down dog. So curl your toes, bring your tailbone down towards your heels. Lift your knees off the mat and drop your head close towards the mat. Press through your heels. And let's just rock forward onto the balls of the feet and then press your heels, lifting the toes. So try not to bring your weight forward, just lift the feet. So keep yourself in your down dog position. When your heels lift higher, your hips go up higher. And then when your heels press down, your hips lower. So you're keeping the down dog, just rocking through the heels, pushing to the floor, lifting the toes, and then raising the heels as you come to the toes. And then just hold here. Keep dropping your head down to the mat. And from here, keeping your legs at hip distance apart, put a slight bend in your knees. We're going to twist the hips over to the right. Keep pressing your chest towards your thighs. And keep pushing the mat away. Straighten your legs, come back through your down dog. Bend the knees slightly again and shift the hips over to the left. Imagining that you're going to try and touch your left buttock down towards your left heel. And come back up through center. And then very slowly from here, press both heels to the floor and walk your hands all the way to your feet. And let's separate the legs a little wider than hip distance apart. And we're going to just let ourselves bend the knees slightly and hang in ragdoll. So bring the pinky fingers into the creases of your opposite elbows. And let your head hang. Just shake your head yes. Shake it no. And just kind of feel that the tension is coming out of your neck and shoulders. So you really want to hang heavy here. And feel that opening coming into the lower back. And then just let your arms collapse down and heel toe your feet in a little closer so they're a little bit more about hip distance apart. And then from here, start to tuck your tail under. Keep your knees slightly bent as you begin to straighten your back, straighten your legs simultaneously, straightening your spine one vertebra at a time. Let the chin stay into the chest until your back is nice and straight. and then release your chin level with the mat. Take both arms all the way up. Inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Place your hands to the mat. Walk the feet all the way back to your down dog. And then we're going to step the feet forward. So as you come into a forward bend now, keep the big toes touching. Slide your hands up your shins, lengthen your spine. Inhale. Fold with your exhale. Bring the arms out in T position, hinge from your hips, and come all the way up. Bring your hands together, look up, and slowly bring the thumbs to the center of your heart. And take your chin down into your chest. Bringing your chin down, close your eyes perhaps. Or if you need to, just let your eyes stay open, but just to keep your focus down into the center of your heart. And just breathe. And then slowly return your chin level with the mat. We're going to take one more side stretch into the sides of the body. So separate your legs a little wider, keeping them about hip distance, not further than that. Bring both arms up and interlace your fingers. Make steeple fingers, so you want to allow the pointer fingers to stretch up. Pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. Take an inhale, lift up as high as you can through the tips of the fingers. As you exhale, we're going to stretch all the way over to the right side, pushing into that left hip. So we already did this stretch. We already prepared ourselves to go into this stretch earlier when we were on the floor. So now we're just moving a little deeper into this side stretch. Come back up to center, and we'll take it over to the other side, pressing the right hip out, reaching through the tips of the fingers. And returning back to center. And lower the arms all the way down. Bring your hands in prayer and hold here for a breath or two. And from here, inhale, lift the arms all the way up, folding forward as you exhale. Plant your hands to the floor, bend your knees if you need to, and let's step it back into down dog. Taking the right leg, lifting it all the way up to the ceiling. Lunge that right foot in between the hands. And we're going to flatten that left foot. So you're going to flatten your left foot down, keeping the right heel in alignment with the instep of your left foot, preparing for our warrior two. Let the left arm move forward, rotate the chest to the left, and then come up, releasing out of that right hand, keeping your right thigh parallel to the floor. Dropping your pelvis down, shoulders relax, gaze down the fingertips of your right hand. Nice deep inhale and exhale, sinking down, opening up through your inner thighs, really root down into that back left leg, pressing through the heel, keeping the shoulders from hunching up to your ears. And then reversing our warrior, so the left hand is going to come to the left leg, turn your right palm up, and let that left hand slide down the left leg as your right arm extends up towards your right ear. So going a little more deeper into that stretch into the right side of your body. Looking into your inner elbow. And breathe. And keep the belly drawn into the back of the spine. And then come back through warrior two, taking extended side angle. So the right side is going to stay parallel to the mat, keeping your right knee over your ankle. Allow yourself to just extend over that right thigh. As you extend, keep reaching out. Bring your forearm above your knee, turn your palm to the ceiling, and let's bring the left arm, extending it up and over the ear. Now, if you find that your chest starts to rotate down towards the mat when you reach your arm forward, keep your left hand on your hip, and imagine that you're opening that left hip, pushing it away from the floor. So you're drawing it towards the back, towards your the back of your mat, towards the longer side of your mat. And you want to open up the shoulder, trying to stack the left shoulder over the right. So some of us might have more flexibility to maybe want to take your hand down to the floor. You can always bring the block there. Maybe let your hand rest on the block. That might give you a little bit more range of motion, and you can bring the left arm up. And just keep stretching into that left side of your body. And slowly taking it back into warrior two. So from here, come back up. Right leg is still bent. Holding here. We're going to rotate into a lunge position. So turn onto the ball of your left foot. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Keep that right knee over the ankle and push back through your left heel. Rotate into a twist as now the left arm comes forward. Right arm goes behind. Draw the shoulders down. Squeeze your inner thighs together. So you want to keep pulling the hips, making sure that they're facing forward, squeezing into your inner thighs. And then from here, coming back through the lunge position, so bring both arms out in T position. Take both arms all the way up. So continuing to hold your lunge. We're going to bring both hands down on either side of your right foot. Taking it through a vinyasa. So we're going to bring the right leg back into plank. Take your knees down, chest and chin come down. So when you take this pose, your tailbone stays lifted, elbows hug into the body. Lift the chest, belly to the floor, shoulders back, and come up into down dog. And breathing here. So we're going to go to the other side, coming in with lifting the left leg up and lunge your left foot in between the hands. So if it doesn't get there, you can grab the ankle, place it right in between the palms, making sure your knee is over the ankle. Flatten your right foot so that the left ankle lines to the instep of your right foot. The right leg is going to stay completely straight. The left leg is going to stay bent. Windmill the right arm forward. Open your chest. Take the left hand off the mat into your warrior two. So that left thigh stays parallel to the mat. Pelvis is sinking down towards the floor. Belly is in. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Your gaze is down the fingers of your left hand. Try not to let those shoulders hunch up. So really try to soften through the shoulders. Opening your inner thighs, so feel the work into those the inner thighs, into the hip flexors. Pressing through the edge of that right foot, really get that right leg to be strong. Then we're going to reverse our warrior. The right hand is going to come down to the right leg. Left palm is going to turn up to the ceiling. Bring that left arm up. Nice lateral stretch. So only take it as far as you can. Maybe this is as far as you're going to go. So rather than pushing yourself forward or pushing your hips back, really just sink your pelvis and get that stretch from into the left side, drawing your left hip away from the rib cage. And that left arm extends back. Look to the inner elbow and make sure your left knee is still continuing to face towards the front of your mat. And slowly come back up and preparing for that extended side angle. So the left thigh stays right where it is, parallel to the floor. The left fingers stretch out. So you want to feel a long stretch through the left rib cage. Forearm comes above that left knee and the right arm goes up and over. If you find that your chest is coming down, keep your right hand to the hip and feel as if you're peeling your right hip back. Let that shoulder stack over the left. From here, you can either place your hand onto the floor if you can get it there, or you can use your block, which will give you a little bit more range of motion to make that right arm be able to extend up and over. And breathe. Continue to press, grounding down through that right edge of your foot, of your right foot. And slowly taking it back into your warrior two. So you're going to remove the block, come back up, shoulders down, gaze is down the fingers of your left hand. Rotating into a lunge, so just turn onto the ball of your right foot, squeeze your inner thighs together, push both hips forward, so pull your left hip back, press your right hip forward, holding your lunge position. We're going to bring the right arm towards the front and the left arm comes to the back for a little bit of a twist. Keep pressing through your right heel, really push that right heel back, trying to feel that you're keeping that right leg straight. And then bring your arms back out to the side and raise both arms all the way up. Lifting through the fingers. Both hands are going to come down on either side of your left foot. Now you can skip the vinyasa and just go right into down dog if you want. So otherwise, if you're coming into the vinyasa, come to plank. Bring your knees, chest, and chin down. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale and bring it back for down dog. Nice deep breath here. In through the nose, out through the nose. So we're going to open up a little more through our inner thighs. So let's take our right foot, raise it all the way up. I'm going to step that right foot to the right pinky finger. I'm going to bring it right close to that finger, keeping your foot on the mat. Then take your left foot and bring it to the left pinky finger. Keep your feet flat on the floor. If you need to turn your feet out, you can do that. You want to bring your tailbone down towards the mat for Malasana. As your tailbone goes down, take your elbows into your inner thighs. Bring your palms together, thumbs to the chest, and opening up in through the inner thighs, through the groin. And breathe. Really let that tailbone press down. Pull your belly in. From here, we're going to stand up 3 times and come down 3 times. So inhale, stand up, stretch through the fingers. Exhale, pull it down. Inhale, stand up, stretch up as high as you can, lifting through the tips of the fingers. Exhale, exhaling, pulling it down. And lift up, inhale. Exhale and pull down. Now bring both hands down to the mat. Lift your hips and heel toe your feet together so that they're right behind your wrists. If you're able to do this, you're going to lift your toes off the mat and you're going to take the back of your hand onto the floor just underneath your right toes. So the palm is on the ball of your foot. Let the toes just kind of massage your wrists a little bit. And just kind of squeeze the toes into the wrist, into the hand, and then release, and then the other side. So we're going to lift the left toe, take the back of the hand to the mat, palm goes right underneath the ball mound of the foot, and just kind of massage your wrist, your left wrist with your toes. And then release that left hand. Now we're going to bring both hands under. So you're going to lift the right foot first, then lift your left foot, and then coming into your forward fold, bend the elbows. If they bend, you want to splay them out to the side. Try to keep both legs straight and breathe. So if your knees are slightly bent, keep thinking of taking your hips and raising them up to the ceiling. Let the shoulders relax, let your head hang, maybe shake it yes and no. And just feeling the stretch coming into the back of your leg. And then release your head, releasing the hands from underneath your toes. Slide your hands up the shins, lengthen your spine, inhale. Fold as you exhale. Let's take arms out into hinge from the hips, come all the way up. Bring your hands to prayer and slowly take your hands to the center of your heart. Hold here. And breathe. Just holding for a few breaths. Making sure that you feel that you're still feeling grounded and feeling balanced. So you don't want to lose sight of feeling that you're in control. So we want to feel that we're connected and grounded and with our breath. So we want to feel that we're not losing that control. So let's bring our chin level with the mat, opening your eyes if they're closed. Bring your arms down alongside you. Make sure that you're feeling grounded into both feet first. We're going to come into a balance pose. So we're going to work on different levels of finding where our own balance is. So we're going to be able to move, taking our balance a little into a deeper, challenging balance pose. So if you feel that you're ready for that, you can go for it. But if you feel that you're not even able to just hold the balance at the beginning part, just work on that first, because you can't go to the more advanced until you work through the less intense part of it. So we're going to start to shift the weight over into the left foot. So to do that, let's just press down into the ball mound of the left toes, and the toes are going to lift. Then spread your toes nice and wide, really create space there. And then let the toes just rest to the floor without really gripping the floor. Then feel the left arch kind of lifting off the floor as you shift the weight all the way over into that left foot, lengthening that left leg, raising the right foot off the floor. Now you can interlace the fingers and bring your hands around that right shin. Now this is where we begin. So if you feel that you're steady here and you're pretty strong in the balance on the left foot, then you can move forward a little more. But if you are just kind of wobbly and you're going to have to keep coming in and out of the pose, just work on that until you find that you're completely balanced. So if you have this balance here, you can bring your left hand onto your hip and reach for the right big toe in yogi toe lock. So the first two fingers and the thumb are going to go around your big toe. So when you reach down, get your body to go nice and straight again, and then press through that right foot. So taking that balance here, just breathe with it, strong through your left leg. If you want to go even further, start to open that right leg out to the side. And just take it to where you can go comfortably. If you have to come out, come out. If you have to stay with your hand on your shin, stay with your hand on your shin. If you're not taking the leg out to the side, maybe just keep taking that leg to go straight. If your leg is out to the side, bring it back forward. And then everyone releases that right leg down. And then shake out your standing leg. So come back to both feet, feel grounded into both feet, and just notice the energy that you're feeling in that left leg. So you should feel some kind of difference between the left and the right leg. So now we're going to even that sensation out. Lift the toes on the right foot by pressing down into the ball mound of the toes and raise the toes off the floor. Spread them wide. And then place each toe down. So maybe even seeing some mat in between every toe. Feel a sense of lifting out of that right arch, lifting that right hip up, and then when you feel that you're ready, lift the left leg up and interlace the fingers around the left shin. Try to get your body to stand up nice and tall. And maybe you notice that maybe you have more difficulty on the right side than the left, or maybe it's easier for you to balance on this side than the other side. So if you want to take it a little further, if you feel that you're pretty balanced, bring your right hand to your hip, reach with yogi toe lock, wrapping the fingers around the left toe, and then get your body to stand up nice and tall. Then start to slowly press through that left heel. Really press through the heel to get that left leg straight. So do the best you can. If the knee is bent, then just keep working on trying to straighten the leg. If the leg is completely straight, you can open it out to the side and just find your balance here. Make sure that you're breathing. Then bring it back to center. And then we're going to release and lower the foot down. And then shake out that right leg, the standing leg. And just stay balanced on both feet, bringing your hands into prayer, thumbs to the center of your heart. And maybe just let your eyes close. Noticing the energy that's flowing through both legs. Hopefully you're feeling the same sensation in the right side and the left side. So from here, let your eyes open. Lift the arms all the way up. Inhale, exhale, and fold forward. So as we're here, we're going to step the left leg all the way back. Coming into a lunge position, we're going to keep that right knee over the ankle. So shift forward so that your knee is over your ankle, and allow the left knee to come down to the mat. Flatten the toes on your left foot. Sweep your arms all the way back and lift the chest off your thigh as you bring your hands to prayer to the center of your heart. We're going to take the chest slightly forward and we'll take it into a twist. So let the left elbow come to the outside of your right thigh. Use that elbow as leverage to press and lift your chest off the thigh, push into your right palm and rotate open. Trying to get that right shoulder to almost stack right over the left. breathe here. And if this feels good, and maybe you feel that you're balanced and maybe ready for a challenge, curl the back toes, and when the toes curl, push your heel to the back of the mat. And as you push the heel back, the knee just lifts. So your hips aren't really raising up. So rather than thinking of lifting the left knee, then we have a tendency to raise the hips. Just think of pushing the heel back, and that will help the knee to just raise off the mat. And then bring both hands down onto the mat. So if your knee was on the floor, bring your left knee off the mat and step your right leg back to a plank position. Holding here, pull your shoulders back away from the ears. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Getting strong abdominal work here. Strengthening the upper body. Keeping the crown of your head forward. Bend the knees slightly and lift up into down dog. And dropping your head, walk the feet all the way to the front of your mat. From here, inhale the arms out in T. Come up, bring your hands to prayer, and come back with the hands to the center of your heart. And just hold before we take it to the other side. Make sure the breath is flowing smooth and even. And let's take both arms up and fold forward. This time we're going to step the right leg back. So we're taking it into a lunge. Take that leg as far back as you can get it, keeping your left knee over the ankle. Press back through that right heel, then lower the right knee down to the mat, flatten the toes. Sweeping your arms behind you, lift your chest off your thigh, raise the arms up, bring the hands to prayer. Making sure that left knee is over the ankle, extend the chest slightly towards the left thigh, and the right elbow hooks around that left leg. Then you're going to push the elbow into the leg to lift your belly off the thigh, rotate the left rib cage to the ceiling, pushing into your left palm pushing into your right palm. So the toes are flat on your right foot, and if you think maybe you want to try, see if you can try to maybe lift up. Maybe you fall out of the pose. But by practicing, we eventually get stronger and we recognize what we need to do. So curl your toes, then just push your heel back so that pushing through your heel is just going to lift the knee. The hips really will not move. So we don't want the hips to go up. If you need to bring your knee down at any time, bring it back down. And then you're going to release out of the pose. If your knee is on the floor, raise it off the mat and take your left leg back, and we're going to fold into our plank again. Pull the shoulders back, pull your belly into the back of the spine. So we're going to work on holding here, just getting a little bit of that strength that we need. Really take the challenge. So keep your shoulders over your palms. I'm going to raise the right foot just about an inch off the mat and flex the foot. Pull the shoulders back away from the ears. Press your right heel to the back of the room, making sure your toes are just hovering about an inch off the floor. Lower the foot down, and then go to the other side. Lift the left foot just about an inch off the mat, so it doesn't come way up. Make sure that your head is extended forward so you're not looking towards your toes. And then lower the foot down. Let's take our first child's pose. Bring your knees to the mat, tailbone down to the heels, forehead down, and breathe. Just taking a little moment to rest, because we're going to go back and challenge ourselves again, doing another variation in our plank. So it's important to get that upper body strength and the abdominal strength. We need a lot of strength in our belly for many of the poses. So holding in your child's pose, we'll hold this 3 more breaths. So every time that you exhale, let it all go. Really release it out. Feel that you're not holding that tension. Don't create tightness in your body. Let the tightness release out. And one more inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, come back into your plank once again. So bring your shoulders so that they're over your palms. Spread your fingers wide. So your palms and hands are your foundation. Take your legs back into your plank without lifting your hips and without lowering your hips down to the floor. Keep your shoulders pulled back away from the ears. And then from here, let's just kind of rotate the hips over to the right. Come back up and rotate your hips over to the left. Come back up. So you're just kind of moving the hips from side to side. And then come back to center. And let's take it back onto the knee. And we're going to take the legs, cross them at the ankle, and come to sit down onto your buttocks. So we want to sit up tall. Come more to the middle of your mat. Bring your hands onto your knees and sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes and just breathe here. And let your eyes open. Let's bring the left foot forward and take your right leg and take this foot flat next to the inside of your left thigh. So your right foot is flat. Your right knee is facing towards the ceiling. Now, if you have a belt or a tie, you have one of your props handy, you're going to be using that if you're not able to bind. So the left leg is extended forward, the toes are flexed to the ceiling. You want to keep that right knee up towards the ceiling. You don't want to let it open up. Raise your right arm all the way up. Then reach as if you're going to grab your right toes, stretch as far as you can. And imagine someone's pulling your fingers even further beyond your toes. Take your right arm and wrap it around. So maybe trying to get your armpit around that right shin. Bring the right hand to your lower back, as close to your lower back as possible. So at this point, you can before you do that, you can hold on to your tie or your belt when you wrap it around. And we're going to see if we can bind our left hand with our right. So we're going to extend the left arm forward, wrap the left arm back, and if you can't find a bind, see if you have that tie or belt in your right hand and grab it. And just try to wiggle the fingers in closer so that they get closer together so that you find that bind. So keep pulling flexing your left foot and keep pulling your chest forward, but try to keep the back nice and long. And then from here, we're going to release the bind. And then we're going to stretch the right leg forward. So now when we switch sides, you're going to take your belt onto your left hand. The sole of the foot comes onto the floor, giving yourself a little bit of space between the foot and your right thigh. Your left knee is going to be facing up. Bring your left arm all the way up and extend forward. So reaching beyond your left toes. Keep reaching as far as you can to get that range of motion. See if you can bring your left armpit around that shin and bring your left hand to your lower back. So you want to get that left buttock to stay on the floor. So even if you're tending to lean over to the right, you want to get that left buttock to go back. Right toes are flexed, reach forward with the right hand, swim that arm behind, find your tie or your belt or bind with your left hand, and lift up, inhale, and fold, exhale. Try to keep the length through your back. Keep pulling the shoulders back, flexing that right foot. So this is a challenge here. Once we get more flexibility, you'll be able to, if you can't find your hands now, if you keep working on practicing this posture, eventually you'll be able to find that bind. And then release the bind, release your hands, and extend your left foot forward. We're going to swing the legs back, and when we swing the legs back, we're going to go onto our belly. So when you come onto your belly, let your forehead come to the floor, and let your arms extend forward alongside your ears. reaching the fingers further than the mat. So you want to reach forward, forehead down. Arms are shoulder width apart, so make sure your arms aren't closing in. You want to keep them as wide as the shoulders. And let your toenails come flat onto the floor. Push into your toenails. So when you push your toenails down into the floor, feel your knees lifting up. So push your toenails down and really lift those knees off the floor. Just feel that lift of your knees coming off the mat just by pushing into your toenails. And then relax the legs. And again, push into your toenails and lift your knees. And then relax your legs again. So now pushing into your toenails, feel the knees lift, and let's raise the arms and just lift your head. So don't let your head tilt up. All you're doing is feeling that you're trying to push into those toenails, lifting up your arm. So you're not going to come very high. And then lower everything down. Bend your elbows and come onto your right ear and relax the legs, relax your body. Return back onto the forehead. Arms extend forward. Make sure your legs are together. Push into your toenails. Feel your knees lifting. Lift your arms, lift your head. It's a very little lift. A very little lift here, strengthening your back. Push into those toenails. Feel the knees lifting. And lower everything down. Bend your elbows. Turn onto your left ear. And return onto the forehead. Bring your hands right next to your shoulders and slide the hands down to the bottom of the rib cage. Draw your elbows towards each other as if you're trying to touch your elbows, squeezing your shoulder blades. Push into your toenails again. Feel your knees lifting, and then push into your hands. Keep pushing into your hands, then come onto your knees and sit it back into a child's pose. Open the knees wide. Reach the arms forward and walk your hands all the way over to the right side. Drawing your left buttock down towards your left heel. Get a nice stretch into the left side of your body. And let's come center and walk it all the way over to the left side, drawing the right buttock to the right heel, stretching into the right side of the body. And then let's return center. Come up onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees under your hips. And then bring your heels and your knees together and ankles together. And we're going to sit down onto the heels and slide the hands up your shins. So finishing up, we're going to come into an inversion before we finish in our relaxation. So coming into hare pose. So separate your knees slightly. Your buttocks are sitting on your heels. Relax your arms alongside you. Draw your chin into the chest. We're going to round ourselves down, bringing the very top, the very crown of our head onto the floor. So in order for the crown of the head to touch the floor, we're going to have to lift our butt from our heels. So first, draw your chin to your chest, round your back, directing the crown of the head towards the floor. Then lift your butt so that the crown of the head comes onto the floor, but pull your belly into the back of the spine so that you're not forcing pressure into the top of your head. So really try to round out through that lower back. So working here, the arms should be alongside your legs, next to your hands next to your feet. Squeeze the belly, and lower yourself back down onto your heels and round up, straightening your spine. We're going to do that again. So working on, that's why it's important. If you find it very challenging, that's why it's important to have that abdominal strength, because the abdominals is going to help lift the energy away from the mat rather than letting it all dump down into the floor. So we're going to round through the chin into the chest, rounding the back, and starting to bring that crown of the head to the floor. Lift your hips. Feel the control in your abdominals as you start to lower the head. Keep the arms straight back behind you with the feet, the hands next to your feet. So you should be on the crown of your head, and you should really feel a lot of pressure on your head. You're really drawing your navel into the back of the spine. Roll yourself back down onto your heels, rounding, straightening the back. And then let's bring both hands forward and take your legs out to one side. And let's come to lie down onto the back. We'll finish up with a twist, and then we'll come right into our relaxation. So lower down onto your mat, and make sure that your lower back is flat onto the floor. So come into a pelvic tilt by pressing the navel into the back of the spine and getting your sacrum to flatten down to the floor. Let's pick up both legs, keeping the legs about hip distance apart. Bring both arms out in T position. Make sure your navel is squeezing into the back of the spine. Release both knees over to the right. And then just let your left leg rest on top of the right as the right leg comes onto the floor. So keeping your knees a little bit further away from your chest. And let that left shoulder press down. And gazing over the left fingertips. Close your eyes. So you're going to feel a deep stretch into the left side of your body. So the more you close the knees in, the less of a stretch you get. So if you try to get those knees to come in alignment with your hips, you'll feel it more through that armpit and through the upper left chest. And then bring your gaze center. Just your left leg comes up, keeping the knee bent. And then just bring the right leg to meet it. So adjust to the middle of your mat. Keep your legs at tabletop position. Draw your navel into the back of the spine, keeping both arms out in T. Inhale. Exhale, let those knees just gently fall to the left. So you're not bringing the knees towards the chest. You're really increasing the stretch through the back and through the hips. That right shoulder stays down. And take your gaze to look over the right shoulder. And breathe. So if you have trouble getting your left knee to come down, you can always rest it on top of the block, or if you have a blanket, you can even rest it onto the blanket. But we want the knees to be more in alignment with the hips for this stretch because it's a little deeper. And slowly return your head center. Take the right leg, just bring it up. Once it gets back to tabletop, draw the left leg in and hug both knees into your chest. Take a nice gentle rock from side to side. And placing both feet down to the floor. Once you're there, just get comfortable. Slide the legs out, hip distance apart. Make any adjustments to your clothes that you need to. Just kind of wiggle yourself, get comfortable. Turn your palms up to the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Close your eyes and relax now. So let's take 3 cleansing breaths, really letting everything go. So challenging ourselves in our practice this evening. We want to release any of that tightness that we might be holding on to. So let's take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and exhale it out. Sigh it out. And again, deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth. Sigh it out. And last one. Make this one count. Deep breath in. And open your mouth, sigh it out. Really push every bit of stale air from the bottom of your lungs. Press it out. And then gently let your lips close. Keep your eyes closed. And allow yourself to relax. This is the time that we integrate the work. Relaxing your body. No more effort, no more doing. Enter the state of just being present, being with your breath, being with yourself. Allow a sense of calm and peace to flow in with every breath. And just take a moment to just notice how you're feeling. Very slowly and gently wiggle your toes, your fingers, wrists, and ankle. Allow the eyes to remain closed. And take a nice deep inhale and stretch your arms all the way over your head, pointing your toes, exhaling out any sigh, sound, or moan. Getting a nice, beautiful, deep stretch into your body. Hug your knees into your chest. And just take a couple of gentle rocking motions side to side. And when you're ready, just roll all the way over onto the right side of your mat. Coming to rest your head gently onto your inner arm. Just noticing how you're feeling. Know that this is the result of your practice. Maybe you felt it was a little challenging today. Maybe you met the challenge. Maybe you were able to recognize that it might have been a little too challenging, so taking some rests in between or modifying when you needed to. And give yourself credit for doing that. Gently press into your left hand and guide yourself all the way up to a seated position. Just sit up nice and tall. Allow your hands to come in prayer position right to the center of your heart. And feel your connection to your heart beating, to your breath flowing through your body. And just finding that quiet stillness for a few more breaths. And let us close our practice now as we chant Om. We'll seal in what we've gained, what we've learned. Feel in the strength, the focus. So we'll take a nice deep breath in now. Om. And slowly and gently lower your chin to your chest as you bow to the light and love that shines within you. Know that that light and love shines brightly within each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining and taking time out of your evening to do your practice. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.